Hey guys, let's talk about the day that I almost got hijacked and how it changed me, honestly. This happened earlier 2025, around February, if not March. Just don't remember exactly, but it happened on a Sunday. The time was around 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, somewhat around that time. And I went to drop off a camera at a friend's place. And you know that thing of where us guys, I'm sure every other guy who's watching will relate to this, that you go drop off something or you go meet up with the boys. It never just ends at a hello, hi, here it is, let's go. Okay, sharp. No. It turned into one of those situations of where now I came to drop off the camera. We start speaking a bit, speaking for 5 minutes, turned into 30 minutes, almost an hour. In that moment, we were still standing outside. This happened in observatory. Yeah, very. For those who know observatory, they know observatory can be very quiet, especially on like weekend. Very quiet area, secluded, and mind you, I know all of these things because I grew up in that area. I stayed there for the longest of time, but I don't know what made us, just I don't know what made me get so comfortable in that moment. We arrived there. My initial plan was, it was part of my plan. My initial plan was to drop off the camera and greet him, greet his family, and then leave. But that is never the case. So it turned into a thing of where I dropped off the camera and then we started speaking for a bit. As we started speaking a bit, time passed. The conversations just, kept on getting longer and longer and longer. Mind you, as I said, this was supposed to be a drop and go, but yeah, started speaking, and then we noticed a Mercedes Benz driving into the street. We drove in. Well, why it picked my attention was because it was the same brand as I was driving, the same model and everything. White. But the thing that stood out most from that Mercedes is that it looked like the suspension looked very low. Looked like this thing was carrying weight. But when you looked at the car, all you could see was the driver, but you couldn't see the other occupants of the car. It had a little bit of tinted windows, but it looked heavy. Looked heavy, like back heavy. And we're like, okay, cool. As it's passing, it's slowly passing. I'm also paying attention to the car. We're looking. We're staring at it as it's passing. Like, okay, cool. But as I was looking, as it passed, I looked through the back window. I noticed there's a, yeah, that car is heavy because it has people in it. I'm like, okay, cool. It drove off until it got into the distance. I'm like, cool. And then at some point, I saw it like enter a house. I thought, well, I was like, okay, yeah, it probably stays there. Sharp. We continue having the conversation with my friend. I stopped paying attention to the car completely. Like now, my back is towards the car, but my buddy is still looking in the direction of that car. Not knowing that that car actually, I thought it entered into that house and it ended there. Not knowing, the car turned back. As it turned back, it started to slowly drive towards us. My friend noticed it, and cool. We kept on talking, and for some reason we even made jokes about being robbed on that afternoon because well, this is South Africa. A lot goes on in this country. It's just wild. The car started to slowly drive back towards us. I didn't notice. He was paying attention to it. Slowly approaching, and then my friend mentions this for some odd reasons. Like, guys, if we get robbed here, you must be ready to run. The moment as he just said that last run, my God, the car sped up. Literally following his words, eh? The car sped up, parked in front of my car, because we're not sitting inside the car, we're sitting outside, we're on the streets. We're literally speaking on the streets. Yeah, our mistake there, I know. It was the dumbest thing we could do, but yeah, it was supposed to be a drop and go. Turned into be more than that. The car sped up, parked in front of my car. As he's saying his last words, run, you literally hear in the back door of that Mercedes open up, and then you're hearing a gun cocking sound, a person loading up the gun. Immediately, no chances were given, sprinted. I come from a background of where I worked in this law enforcement and all of that, so I know these people's strategies and all of that. So people who normally run into houses, it never ends well for them. So my friend ran into his house because the gate was open. He just ran into the yard and whatnot. I decided not to run into the yard. I ran on from the streets. I ran backwards, and it was something crazy. The guys came out fully armed. They wanted to go after my friend. We're with his sister as well at the time. They tried to go after them, but since they ran into the yard, it was a situation of where these things normally happen under a minute or so. Because even anyone who's been robbed before on the streets with these guys, because these days people operate with cars now. Nobody's using the walking method and whatnot. Thieves are just using cars. The thieves tried to go after my friend into their yard, but after realizing that it would be a risk, I think he turned around. As he turned around, tried to focus his attention towards me. And by the time he turned in my direction, I was literally halfway down the block. Mind you, it was a Sunday. We're wearing a suit. Me and my friend, we were both wearing suits. Anyone who knows me, I wear a lot of suits, guys. And yeah, I was literally halfway down the block. This guy, as he turned towards me, he sees I'm gone. Okay, his next focus is what? My car. The car was unlocked. He opens the passenger door. I left my wallet in the middle console. And luckily, I started doing this thing since last year. I think earlier January. I started walking with no cash. I don't walk with cash anymore. Everything I do is probably a card payment or some sort of transfer or tap to pay. And so I didn't have cash on me at the time. It was just cards, driver's license, and all those things in my wallet. And that was in the car. He picked that up. He looked inside. He didn't find anything of value. Next thing, he forcefully opened the glove compartment. He actually broke it. Because, as you said, these things happen within a minute. He was trying to make things happen fast. He forcefully opened it. All he found inside there were documents, papers, and whatnot. And I'm sure that didn't interest him. I was like, cool. As he's about to give up, guys, keep in mind when I said that this was supposed to be a stop and go, right? I left my keys in the ignition. Yeah, trust me, I know it was a dumb thing to do, but I did that. My keys was in the ignition and he noticed it immediately. This is me. I stopped running. I stood away from a distance, just watching everything as it unfolded. He leapt from the other side, from the passenger side, to go onto the driver's side. Mind you, I stood from a distance. You know the thing of when you start your car up, the lights turn on. Yeah, that was literally how I was looking. This was like a movie. This thing was going on like a movie, and I saw the car turn on. I heard my sound. I heard the sound because the car was a little bit loud because it was like it was a C300 V6 spec, so it was just a little bit loud because I was not too far. I heard the car turn on, see the lights and everything. I'm like, my God, my car's gone. After saying that, I'm like, my God, my car's gone. I said that first in my heart, and then in the distance, I'm hearing the guys accelerating the car, like, because these guys in the other getaway vehicle, they started to drive off. Since they didn't manage to get any of us. I ran away in the distance. My friend went into the yard. They didn't pursue him and his sister. So the next best thing was the car. So I see the car. They started to drive off. So they were waiting for one of their guys to follow them. The car, I hear him accelerate, but the car's not moving. He accelerates as in like full throttle, as in he was ready to go. The car's not moving. Something came over me. I said it out. Like, I just said it out loud. After hearing the first time he accelerated, I first said it in my heart that you're not taking my car. I hear the second time. This guy literally turns off the car, turns it back on, tries again. Same situation, full throttle, the car didn't move. And then this time, I said it out loud, you're not taking my car. After hearing the full throttle again, this time around, I think his guys noticed that this guy is not like moving. They stopped the car midway. They started to reverse a little bit back to like get their guy to find out what's happening. I think after that, the guy just immediately gave up. Next thing, all I see is my driver door opening. He's running out, running towards their car, enters their car. He starts to drive off. And in that area, it is a very small area that you could literally, if you drive fast enough, you can literally circle the block and come back from the other side. So they could have literally circled the block and come onto my side and probably not pick me up or force me to probably move the car or take me for ransom or something, because that's literally what has been happening in South Africa for like what, the past 3 years. They don't, with hijackings now, they don't just take the car and leave the person alone. They now have started taking individuals and going with them with their car, make them withdraw large amounts of money, and if they don't have money themselves, they'll get them to contact somebody who has money. So that was literally the thoughts in my mind. I thought that it would circle back and come pick me up. I didn't give them chance. The moment I saw them driving off, I literally ran back towards the car. Ran back towards the car, entered my car, look at the gate. I didn't see any movement. I was like, okay, they're inside. Just to show you that the car was about to be taken. The car was still on. When the guy ran off, he left the car running. He left the keys in place. All I did was, why I noticed why he wasn't able to take the car. When I parked earlier, when I arrived at the place, I put on the emergency handbrake. If you know these Mercedes and whatnot, they don't have the same handbrake mechanism as other cars. Mercedes, Audi, BMW, certain BMWs as well. Whatnot. They don't have the traditional handbrake. They have literally a button that releases the handbrake, the emergency handbrake, whatnot. So with my Merc, it was a thing of where the emergency handbrake was like by the foot. So once you press that down, if you do not release that handbrake, the car will not move. No matter how hard, well, I don't know, no matter how hard it is that you press, but if you try forcing it, you will damage something. But the car didn't move with the force that guy tried. Immediately as I got in, I literally released the handbrake. I drove like a madman. So since we were in the area observatory, the closest area was Bears Valley. So I drove from observatory to, because it was closer to Bears Valley side, I drove from that side up until Bears Valley non-stop, because I thought maybe they could follow me or something like that. I just wanted to get out of the vicinity just to be safer, whatnot. I drove, got until I got to Bears Valley. Mind you, while I'm busy driving off, I'm hearing my phone is busy ringing. I'm not even paying attention to answer and like find out who it is. I drove until I got to a safe spot in Bears Valley that I like relatively thought was safe. I parked over there, and then that's when I looked at my phone. I'm checking my phone, seeing who's calling. The person who was calling was my friend, the one I was with, at their house. He was literally trying to reach out to me. I finally answer, and he's like, "Bro, are you okay? I just saw your car racing off." I'm like, "Yeah, that was me." He thought the worst. He thought that I was, because when he came back outside to check for me, because I didn't run in with him. When he looked back, he didn't see me. He's like, my God, this guy's been taken. When he comes out, all he's seeing is my car racing off. I immediately tell him, I'm like, he thought I was taken. I'm like, no, that was me driving off. He's like, bro, I literally thought the worst. It was crazy. I said I was not about to stay in that place for that long, knowing what had just happened. I checked if they're safe. Well, as long as their gate was closed, I ran. I had to protect myself because I was outside. They didn't manage to take anything from him. Imagine, mind you, the whole time we were still standing outside, he had the camera backpack on him with the camera inside. And it was if you know anything about camera gear can just be very expensive. It was camera, body, and a lens. Mirrorless, the EOS R. At the time, that thing was going for about, with the whole kit that he had, that was an easy 30K. But in the streets, they wouldn't sell it for that much. but it was an easy 30K worth of equipment. Luckily, that was safe. My side was safe as well. I was unscathed. I drove like crazy. So after that situation, it changed me completely because now anytime I just see a random car passing by, slowing down, it's these three models or that I normally see they always committing crimes with. It's Toyota Corollas, Toyota Almeras. Normally the Uber cars are just a persona non grata. Like, don't avoid those cars. Just always be careful with those cars when you see them like slowly approaching the streets and you see it, maybe it's full of guys or something like that. It's just crazy. But now they also use the fancy cars. So Mercedes, BMW, Audis, you name it, they use them. VWs, it's South Africa. So ever since then, at first I thought that it didn't affect me until probably like 6 months later. Almost a similar situation, but just a random car, same make, slowly approaching in around my place. It just out of nowhere, my heart started racing, and that's how I knew that no, this thing actually affected me way more than I thought it did. I thought I was okay, but nah, I wasn't, and yeah. So guys, the only thing that saved us out there was just being observant, because if we reacted a few seconds slower, they literally would have taken the backpack with the camera, taken the phones, um, taken the car. They would have had a field day with us, honestly. But yeah, they managed to not get anything from us. We got out of that situation unscathed. All I can say in that situation was that it was God's grace. God truly protected us. I'm a Christian and I believe in divine protection. And that was what we had that day. In a situation where normally people get taken, people get harmed and lose their lives, we got out of that situation unscathed. Gives you a different perspective on life, eh? Not gonna lie. So that's how I almost got hijacked. Thank you guys. Bye. Follow for more.